What we have here is an 86 four-door Chevy Silverado square body. I wonder why this was on the hood. And it is a diesel. Big old powerful diesel in this thing. It's a 6.2 liter Detroit.
What the? What?
It's not that bad. Now, fun fact, this has actually been swapped because this was a 350 gas engine and there was a truck over there that had the diesel in it, and they put the diesel in this. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's the dually and it's a little more heavy duty than the other one over there. Based on what I've heard, I probably would have went with something different. And by the way, this thing is super long. "20 feet and 2 inches. 20 feet and 2 inches. Now, I actually walked up on it like this. The hood has always been up from what I know. And I try to shut it and it won't shut. So we're gonna try to oil it up a little bit, let it sit. Yep, I can't shut that. We'll just let it sit for a little bit. If we get it running, we'll make a bigger deal out of it. But for now, gosh. Well, it's kind of coming up. That's good. Oh, yes. Get somewhere. Does anybody know what this is? Really don't know, to be honest with you. I guess maybe it's definitely, I don't think that's factory. That must be some kind of pull down strap. I don't have a clue. Will it turn over? That is the next question. So I need to figure out what size crank bolt it is. I think this was for a winch. Yep, definitely was for a winch. What the heck? I don't think this thing has a crank bolt. Or is there just not one there from the factory? Okay, well, there's not a crank bolt down there. Well, I can't find a crank bolt on the pulley, so we're just gonna hook a battery up to it and then try it from the ignition switch in the cab. Whoa. The door's not opening. Okay, something. So we can try the other side here. That one opened right up. I just wish you guys could smell this. Maybe instead of 3D videos, one day we'll have like 4D and 5D where everybody can like sense the video. They can smell the video. You wouldn't want to watch this video if that's the case. The door's locked. Yep, okay. Little lock indicator over there is pushed in, so I'd say she's locked up. Gosh, there's all kinds of documents in here. I'm trying not to show you guys. There might be like some personal information from somebody. There's a phone number. Jeez, man. You can tell the mice have been in here. Look at all of the mouse turds all over the place. This book has been eaten up. This sheet has been eaten up. This is disgusting, man. Disgusting. What are these? Gauze, bandages. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Look at all the foam right there. That's clearly from mice stacking that up as a nest. I mean, there's no other reason it would be sitting the way that it is. Wow. There's decayed turd in here. What have I gotten myself into? And there is no key. And there's also no like dash panel. Yeah, so we're gonna have to take the steering column down and unbolt that little ignition switch. On these older trucks and vehicles, it's not the actual ignition cylinder lock that activates the starter. There's not any kind of electrical current from here to there. It's actually a mechanical design, and when you turn this, it moves an arm back and forth, and on the end of that arm, it's got like a right angle, kind of like a pin type shape. And then you have your ignition switch down there, and it moves the ignition switch from on to off, kind of like this. So like when I turn the key that way, it pushes the rod that way, and then it'll take that little rod and push it on the ignition module, and then that'll start the truck. So we'll have to pull this out real quick. All right, see, now she drops down. You can't see it. There's a module way back there, and you got two little bolts that are holding it on. I'll probably have to do it off camera because they're kind of difficult to get to. And then out comes ye module. There we go. So this is where the little rod goes, and this will slide from left to right. Middle is probably like the ACC, and then all the way to the right is probably start. We gotta get some battery in here. I'm not exactly sure where the battery went because there's two trays here. What the heck? Okay, here's negative. Don't see a positive wire anywhere. This one's rusted out pretty good. Well, there's the positive lead. There's our ground. It's also cut. Why are all these cut? Ah, those freaking meth heads. They come down to this property and steal all the stuff they can, so I'm sure they came down here, and that's why the hood was up. I bet you they came down here and cut the wires for the copper. So I just got back from the trailer park, and well, it went over really well. I don't think any of their cars run anymore. Have fun getting to Dollar General now, Cletus. There we go. Okay, whenever I put this big old battery on, I heard some clicking, and I think what that clicking was this solenoid over here. But I think on the gas trucks, the battery was right here, and that was acting as the starter solenoid. Well, now that it's a diesel, I think what they did was, okay, it just clicked. It's clicking right now. I think this used to be the starter solenoid, and they converted it to the glow plugs, so I don't think we need a battery over here. But there is this ground right here that definitely went to a battery, so we may have to hook this up, and I'll probably route it over there. I don't think I'm gonna put two batteries in here. I don't think it needs it, but let's just go ahead and see what this thing will do now. Oh, I don't like sitting here. Now let's take our ignition module and slide it if we can. Oh my goodness, we got lights. Let's see if the lights work. I'm not seeing anything. We have a light that works. Yes, sir, boy. All right, let's see if she turns over. No way. I thought we were gonna have to pull the injectors. Let's see if it'll fire. I highly doubt it. Doubt it. Shoot, yeah, boy. She is turning over like a dream. Now, if we're ever gonna get this thing to run, this truck has 2 fuel tanks, one on each side. They both have electric fuel pumps in there. And we're gonna have to figure out which one it's set on, or find a switch and flip it to one we kinda know works. Once we get fuel in the tanks and confirm that the electric pumps are working, we go up here and we're gonna crack this little cap here. This is the air fuel bleeder. And we're gonna crank on it until fuel is running out of here and no bubbles. Once that filter is completely bled, we should have fuel running to our injection pump, which is right here. And I don't know why this is disconnected. What does this go to? Oh, it goes to, I think this is a shutoff solenoid. I don't know why it's so loose though. Let's see, I think that's on there. So that's our injection pump. Once we get fuel to this injection pump, all of our lines that run to the injectors will be pressurized, but we'll have to help get some of the air out. So we will crack these lines here on every single injector until we get fuel coming from every single one of these lines, no air. I'll pull that filter housing up and clean it out because I'm sure there's probably rat's nest in there and I don't want to suck that in the engine. But this thing should start once we have all that done. Oh my goodness. Definitely no coolant. Oh jeez. I just disintegrated. Yeah, there ain't no coolant in there from what I can see. Says it's empty, which is probably a better thing. Looking around the dash here, I found this switch that says travel tanks and it says aux and main. Switch it and it says it's like full. Yeah. I guess we can try to run a camera down there. For some reason my little borescope camera is not working, probably because I left it outside all summer. But that's okay because we just slipped this thing all the way down there. And I'm just gonna see if it's wet, but based on what I can tell, it doesn't sound like it has any fuel in it. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing on that. We need to make sure that this fuel pump will work. I don't think we're gonna be able to take this out. I'm not sure that these are running at all. I don't hear anything. So I'm gonna hotwire it, see if I can get it to run. Nothing. That fuel pump, it's not turning on. This is what we're looking at here. Basically, there's a pump at the very bottom of the sending unit. The only reason I know that or think that is because of the 3 wires that come off of the top of it. And I hook up 12 volts to it and it doesn't work. But you go over to the other side. I don't think this one has an electrical fuel pump in this tank because this is the sending unit we're looking at. It's got a little ground here on the side, and this one also has a ground on the side. This one doesn't really have any wires going to it because it doesn't need to, nor does this one. So what I think I'm gonna try to do is take off this fuel line here and run a fuel pump from here to the little tank selector valve, I believe it is, underneath the bed. And then we should be getting fuel. There we go. We got our new pump hooked up there. Obviously we can't really drive like this, but we just want to get started first. I can hear it pumping. See if we're getting anything here. Yes, sir. Look at that. We're getting something finally. We're just gonna keep on cranking it, and I'm gonna set up a little catch can. Looky there. Looky there. There's our catch can. Hasn't been opened in 20 something years. Will it open? Just like it right there. Whole lot of air coming out of there. I've been cranking on this thing for a while now, and I think we may have another issue. That fuel is barely coming out at all. We should have fuel by now. The only thing we're getting out of this bleeder screw here is bubbles, and this has been going on for forever now. We should have had this thing bled in under 10 minutes. There's a pan that's catching a lot of these bubbles that's coming down, but I want to show you guys. I took this off. This is the inlet here. This is straight from the fuel pump, from the fuel tank. This goes into the filter, and then this is our outlet. I'm not sure if the outlet goes down to the mechanical fuel pump or if it goes straight into lines that run into the injection pump. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I don't have a diagram or anything on me like that. When I pulled this inlet off here, it was pure fuel and pressure running through this line, and it was not aerated like you see that's coming through there. We also have pure fuel running from the tank to our fuel pump. We're gonna turn it off because we don't need to run it right now. After messing with this thing for about an hour or so, I've come to the conclusion that I think that this filter is probably stopped up, and what's happening is you got all that fuel pressure going in there and it's blocked, so it's just pressurizing, just sloshing around in there, because all it is fuel pressure just deadheading, and it's causing the fuel to get aerated. That is why I'm pretty sure all we're getting out of this bleed screw is bubbles. To replace this filter here, it's like $50 something, and I'm not spending $50 on a truck that does not run yet. So I'm gonna get an inline filter. I may have one on the truck. We're just gonna run an inline filter in between these two. After that, we should be good to go. So I did just find this brand new fuel filter on my truck. You guys will see that in another video. Hopefully this ain't too long. Just right. Can hear it filling up, and here we are. Okay, just got soaked. Now we just gotta turn it on, crank it a few times, and we'll crack the injectors and we'll start bleeding it. That's a leak. I don't see anything. Oh yeah, we definitely have a leak. Good grief. It is pouring fuel. Something up here is leaking. I'm not sure what it is. Hope if I had a endoscope or a borescope, but it's broken. Seems we have a fuel leak under the manifold, which means we gotta pull this off and a lot of other stuff. So we're gonna pull the manifold off, replace whatever the heck is leaking, and we should be good to go. Perfect spot for a fuel leak. Manifold is off. We have an absolute mess in here. This is really bad in here. So clearly the mice have been up in here and created a nest right around the fuel line. This stuff is so close to getting into the engine. So this is our fuel filter we installed here. This is the outlet. The outlet runs all the way to the inlet on the injection pump here. I'm pretty sure this is what was leaking. Yep, sure enough, there it is. You can see it's been all chewed up. It was actually right in the middle of the mouse nest, so I'm sure it was right in their way and they were trying to get rid of it. But yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff we need to get rid of now. I'm gonna tape all these intake holes up, and we are going to vacuum and clean all of this junk out of here. This is definitely a fire hazard. replace this line here, and then we will finally have fuel running to the injection pump. Let's see what kind of shape. Looks like it's in decent shape. It's not too tired. That return spring could use some stiffening up. Also, I learned that this solenoid I called the shutoff solenoid is actually an idle solenoid, I'm pretty sure. I'm actually not sure where the shutoff is on this thing. I think it's electronically controlled. I think there's an actuator maybe inside here somewhere. I think that's what those wires are for over here. All right guys, while we were waiting on the manifolds to come in, we're gonna take this time to clean this filthy intake manifold. Now, as you guys know, I've been using Super Clean for a long time now. I use them on every single vehicle that I have. Super Clean makes top of the line products for all of your automotive degreasing needs. And today they sent me some of their products to demo for you guys. We have the Tough Task Cleaner, we have All Wheel Cleaner. I didn't know they had this product. And their new Easy Spray aerosol can. This will be really interesting to use. I'm pretty used to their traditional bottle of the Tough Task here, but we're definitely gonna try this out. Yep, this is why I said it'd be fun to use. This is so satisfying. As soon as it hits the surface, it just foams up. Oh yeah. Now we're just gonna let it sit a minute, let it do its thing. You don't want this product to dry onto the surface. That is not how it was designed to be used. This stuff is so good. Look at all of the dirt just bubbling off of the surface here. It's been about 2 minutes, and as you can see, look at that. The grease is just coming right off of the metal, and we're gonna set it down on this grate and rinse it off really good. "37 years of grime and carbon buildup gone in 2 minutes of Super Clean." Now that our manifold is all cleaned up and shiny, here are the new manifold gaskets. I hope this is the right filter. I didn't even check. Goodness. Yep, I'd say that's the right filter. So there's a little filter comparison there. Our old one is disgusting. Let's vacuum all of this mice crap out of here, replace our fuel line, and then we will replace our intake manifold. Got that stupid mouse nest completely vacuumed out. Now we're gonna take this fuel line apart here and replace it. It's 20 degrees now. There's a winter storm rolling in, so everything's gotten a little dark. I got my light out here. Fuel lines running to the filter have been replaced. The filter is tucked up under here, just like that. Our shiny manifold is in. As far as I can tell, everything is hooked up correctly. So now what we are going to do is start cracking these injector lines here. There we go. Cracked her loose there. Second one on the driver's side's cracked. Here we have number 3. Number 3 is cracked. Got the third one on passenger side is broken. Number 2 right there. Plug up our fuel here. Oh yeah. The driver's side injectors are pretty dry right now. This side is where we were having all the fuel issues, so it is pretty wet over here. We'll crank it over a few times and then see if we start getting any wetness over here. Are you at home?
Yep.
I'm stuck.
Okay.
Same spot, and then turn on the road with all the school buses and keep going, and I'm back there. Well, I was gonna turn my truck around so that I could charge the battery while I was cranking on it, and well, this truck is only 2-wheel drive. It is really unfortunate. So I undid this hose from the injection pump, and it looks like we are getting pressure from the fuel pump right now. So I'm just gonna let this thing run until I see pure fuel coming out, and then I'll plug it back up. A lot of air coming out. Just gonna keep my finger over it here and let all the pressure build up. So I just put a line on here. I'm getting a lot of bubbles coming out of there, and I'm not sure why. Lots of bubblage coming through. I don't know if that's gonna clear up or not. It has to, otherwise this thing ain't gonna run. I wonder if it's the electric fuel pump causing the bubbles, or if there's just that much air in the system. Not sure. As you can see, the winter storm has arrived. So I'm over here messing with this fuel pump. I'm gonna hook it up directly to the injection pump. We're gonna bypass everything underneath. As soon as I plug this filter into this hose, the interior fan here just decides to kick on, and it sounds like a baby elephant being slaughtered. So yeah, the fan works. That's what it sounded like. You hear that? Listen, right in my ear. Of course, it ain't gonna do it when I want it to. Well, there you go. The fan works now. This is how it sounded right in my ear. Scared the crap out of me. Yesterday, I got the truck stuck on that side. Today, we will probably get the truck stuck here. Now, unfortunately, I forgot to charge the battery, so we're running jumper cables from the truck to the truck. Looks like we got smoke over here. This is a fan motor, I believe. Oh, yeah. See, that is what it did right in my ear. Okay, there we go. Jeez. That's what it did right in my ear. I don't know if you can tell, but it is super smoky in here. Alright guys, we might have some really good news. That looks really promising. Remember guys, this used to be dry, but now we have fuel coming out of this injector. Finally. Looks like we got fuel coming out of the ones in the back too. Remember, we were getting a lot of air coming from the return, and that is because we must have been drawing air up from underneath the truck on one of the fuel lines. I'm sure there's a pinhole or a leak somewhere. So we just ran straight from the fuel tank to our filter to our injection pump, and now I don't think we're getting any air, which is really good because now we're getting fuel to the injectors. Now, I get a lot of hate when I use starting fluid on anything diesel. Death threats. Hope the can blows up in your face. I hope your dog dies. Some of you have hard feelings when it comes to starting fluid. So today we are not using starting fluid. So to prevent hurting the feelings of all of the sensitive people, we are using this, not starting fluid. Got some cheap coolant on standby. We're gonna try to fire this puppy up. Not starting fluid. So it's starting, but it's immediately shutting off, and I'm not really using starting fluid. So it's getting fuel. Shut off solenoid is working fine, so it's not that. Let's see if we have any leaks under here. What the? Our exhaust pipe looks like a freaking snake. Look at that. There's a good chance that when the truck starts running, there's pressure building up here and it's not allowing the engine to turn, which is what's shutting it off. All right, yeah, let's try to unbolt that and unrestrict the exhaust system. Good grief. All right, unrestricted. Now that it's unrestricted, I don't see why it won't run. Baby. Yes, sir. Smoking like a freight train, though. Golly. This thing is smoking so bad. This thing is smoking so bad. Golly, the white smoke is burning my eyes. Runs, baby. My eyes are burning, but that time it stayed running. I'm not sure. I actually shut it off because of the high idle. It just started idling really high, like it was gonna run away. Sounds like the starter's stuck on. Yeah, it definitely is. It's running. It's actually idling right now. What the heck? Look at all the air we're getting. Sounds like the dang starter is stuck. Like it sounds like it's stuck on the flywheel. Because every time this engine starts running, I hear that starter. Something sounds really bad. You all like the video. As you can tell, that truck is tired. It is definitely wore out. I was really hoping to be able to kind of test drive it. Now, there's a reason that some vehicles are parked, and there's another reason that the exhaust pipe is probably squished. I don't think that truck drove to its grave. I think it was picked up with a forklift and set there. I'm not sure if it was the starter that we were hearing making all the noise. Oh my gosh, a random dog. Come here, puppy. Come here. Show everybody your face. What are you doing? Just snuck up on me, man. That dog scared the crap out of me. And he's off. He's gone now. Anyways, I'm not sure if that was a starter that we heard making all the grinding noise or if it was a spun bearing maybe. I didn't even notice it until after editing the video, but that thing had tons of blow by. I must have kicked the oil cap off with my knee, and there was tons of smoke coming out of the oil fill cap. So the crankcase was pressurized and we had grinding noise. The thing would barely stay running. Some vehicles just want to rest. Not all vehicles want to hit it hard and take off and have another life. Some vehicles, some trucks just want to go to sleep. So I'm going to wrap it up and we're going to leave that truck alone from now on.